2025, we're in the age of Aquarius. Do you think that we're going to have alien encounters this year?
I haven't thought about that, but like kind of.
Would you also want to be contacted?
I'd be a little scared. You have a bunch of planets that are pulling you out into the world, but what you really wanted to do was stay home.
Oh my God.
You're an Aquarius Rising.
This is my favorite part, actually. I really like Aquarius.
I love Aquariuses too. In fact, I have to make a note to remind myself to stop dating them.
Oh, really? We're not the best.
Okay, big news, you guys. I'm doing my first ever live virtual show, and it's happening on June 11th. I'll be doing a live birth chart reading with a surprise celebrity guest. And if you grab an after party ticket, you'll get to ask us anything as we spill even more tea. So grab your ticket using the link, and I will see you there. Hi, Parvati. I'm so excited to have you.
I'm so excited. This is so cute. Your studio is so fresh.
Thank you. I'm obsessed with her. That's the Soho House book, which was like my first job when I first moved to LA. Vanity Fair's Hollywood, because I love movies. And then like there's a little Libra, Pisces, Capricorn book back there, which is like a nod to my big three.
You're going to tell me so much about myself.
I'm so excited. Okay, you guys, Parvati Shallow is here. She is an author, reality star, and life coach. Can I call you Parv?
Most people call me Parv.
Okay, I love that. So
Yeah.
cute. What is new with you? How's life treating you?
Oh, well, oh my gosh. It's a big year for me. I spent 3 years writing a memoir. My book is coming out this year. I competed on Australian Survivor versus the World, which is like the Olympics of Survivor.
Stop.
And that's coming out.
Wait, this is a huge year.
It feels like a big completion of so many things that I've been doing for decades.
Oh, I love that. Okay, at the end, we'll look up the current transits because I want to see what's going on in your chart, like this year specifically.
Okay, amazing. I
'Cause
usually
that's so fun.
pay people to do this for
Yeah,
me, so
here we
I'm
go.
really excited.
Now you can just text me whenever. You can
Okay.
be like, Ally, what's going on? Okay, so we know that you have seen astrologers before. So I'm assuming you know a little bit about like your big three and your main placements. But for people that are watching that want to know all the details, I'll just do a quick little breakdown. So you are a Virgo Sun, you are a Scorpio Moon, and an Aquarius Rising. So for you guys watching, what that means, the sun is where we shine. The moon is how we nurture ourselves. It's the non-negotiable. And then the rising sign, that is how we move through life. That's like our natural energy source. So if we break it down, the Virgo Sun, that's actually who you are becoming, but it's where you shine. It's where you feel good. And Virgo is all about efficiency, control, but they're ruled by Mercury. So they're very, very analytical. They're very smart, very strategic. And yours is living in the 8th house. The houses in astrology, that shows us where the energy lives. The 8th house is the house, I call it the haunted house. It is where we're a little bit under the surface. There's nothing surface level about the 8th house. We're going a little deeper. It's kind of like most people don't want to go into the haunted house, but you do. You're like hanging out there.
I love a haunted house. I'm also working on a haunted house competition reality.
Stop
show
it right now.
pitch.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, I'm developing it with my friend Amy,
so
who
excited.
is my podcast co-host.
You two are so cute, by the way. I love listening to you guys. Okay, let this validate that.
You're telling me I love haunted houses?
Yes, literally.
Yeah, I feel that.
And then the Virgo being in the haunted house. It's like you are a Virgo, but anytime our sun is in the haunted house, you're a mystery. Like people want to figure you out, but they can't unless they're really close to you or like a part of your circle. The 8th house just has that kind of mystery, that allure to it. That's where you shine. So going a little deeper. Also, not surprised that you're interested in spirituality and astrology. Scorpio it's like the haunted house sign, but Scorpio is a sign that's all about obsession, passion. Scorpios get whatever they want. I think that's where we see that like winner streak with you, or the drive. You don't really have to show how you move. It's not for anyone else to see, but like you know how you move, and that's all that matters. Eye on the prize. That's a Scorpio moon. Your moon is living in the 10th house. And the 10th house is the house of fame, public image, reputation, and success. So having such a powerful Scorpio moon, like that's really where you allow people to see you. So I just think it's so like perfect considering the fact that you are obviously on TV and people know who you are and you've had success with these shows. So that's that Scorpio moon exposing itself. They still can't completely figure you out, but like you're out there.
Okay, so I did the red carpet for the White Lotus. I know, it was a dream job.
Oh my God. I need to know everything.
Okay, Amy Lou Wood, who
Love
played
her.
Chelsea in the
Yes.
show, has a Scorpio moon, and she led with that. And I was like, I have a Scorpio moon. So we
That's
bonded
so
over
cute.
our shared connection. Also, do Scorpio moons kind of gravitate towards one another?
Yes.
And we get each other.
Yes. And that goes for any moon sign. So like, for example, I'm a Libra moon and most of my friends are Libra moons. Like we kind of just attract our moon sign because it feels like home. Like that's the moon, it's the mother, it's safety. If you like are really vibing with someone, chances are they share at least one of your big 3 placements.
And these are romantic connections or friendships or
All of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was listening to your podcast. I love a psychological thriller. I love movies. My moon's in the 8th house. So even though I'm Libra, like bow in my hair, I'm still a little bit deeper. That's why I'm into this stuff, I think. But the 8th house and Scorpio moon, so you have both of those placements. There's fear and we want to figure it out. That's kind of the thing with the moon in the 8th house. When we're younger, it's like, okay, we know that we're not really being told the whole story. Like there's more out there. We just want to figure it out. And so usually we have to go into the haunted house to do that.
Yes.
Yeah. But Survivor, like being on that show, the reason I think that you are such a legend is because you have that Scorpio moon. The Virgo in you is strategic. You're like, okay, I can plot and I can plan, but nobody's really going to know what I'm experiencing or what I'm doing. And also your freaking intuition. Always trust your gut and intuition wherever you are in life.
Okay.
Mhm.
That has been a learning curve for me. I think as I've gotten older, I've become more able to trust myself over like
Yeah.
outside authority. But yeah, I am so fascinated to how the different signs that are in a birth chart like work together and kind of play together with each other. Like if we're thinking about the characters in The White Lotus or the contestants on Survivor, we're all kind of our own unique little universes and how we interact with each other. That's why with every Survivor game that I've played or every reality game I've played, it's always different because we have different people to interact with and play with.
That's so fun.
Kind of interact with people in each other in different ways, like baking soda in a volcano.
Yeah, it's like an experiment. I watched you on Traitors, iconic, and I couldn't find a headband today. And
Thanks. I was thinking about traitoring up today, but
I was so sad. But just the way that you play the game, I don't know, you just have like winner energy and people love watching you.
Thanks. I have a lot of fun playing these games and I bring lightness and joy and playfulness to them. And they're dark and hard and intense and really stressful. So I think that's something that people enjoy watching is like, you don't want to watch someone having a miserable time.
No.
You want to watch someone enjoying themselves playing a game because, you know, when you boil it down, it is a game.
Yep.
At the end of the day, but it does feel very real.
Was it fun filming?
No. I was so stressed the entire time.
That makes so much sense. You were always thinking and having to plan, right?
Because you always had to think for like how to not be yourself.
Yeah. How to be a traitor.
Challenging.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So what is the difference between playing Survivor and playing Traitors?
Survivor is more of a strategic game when it comes to social relationships and being able to adapt on the fly when it comes to the unknown. Like you have to be adaptable. Traitors is how much can you withstand character assassinations all day long?
Wow.
It's like, do you have the ability to handle confrontation, direct head-to-head verbal combat at the round table? If you're the kind of family who just had full-out brawls at the dinner table, you will thrive.
We're all there for the dinner table.
Exactly. Yeah, or the like poisoning with the chalice. You know, it's just like those key moments of can you put on a good show?
It is very entertaining. So I'm going to tell you my theory. The reason I think like you're so amazing is because you're so flirty and likable and like you make friends and people want to be around you. And you have Libra, Mercury, and Saturn. Libra is the zodiac sign of balance and peace. It is the balancing scales. So Libra's job is to quite literally bring people together. And Mercury is how we communicate. It's how we function, and it's how we learn, and it's how we adapt, and it's how we move. So you having a Libra Mercury, you're literally bringing people together. And the thing is with Libras, people want to be around them because it's ruled by Venus. So they like you. You like make them feel good.
That's so nice.
It is. It is the sign, though, that can be passive aggressive. We can be a little people pleasing. But I think because of your Scorpio moon, because of your Virgo sun, like you're able to still like eye on the prize. Like you know what you're there for. But then you just have this like flirty, lovely Libra moon that's like, we're best friends. Like, I love you.
And I really do. I only build alliances with people who I naturally have an organic connection with. I open my heart and I let people in really quickly and in such a deep way.
Yep.
And I will like go to bat for you if you are my ally. I think that's what makes it so fun.
Totally.
And then people feel protected by me.
Yep.
So they want to stick with me.
Totally.
Because they know I'll stand up
Scorpio
for them.
moon too, like ride or die.
And I will take very big swings and big risks to protect not just myself, but my people.
Aww,
I know. That's how I play.
I love that. Okay, so Saturn is how we learn. Saturn's like the dad planet. He's like, have you done your chores? And wherever Saturn is in our birth chart, this is an area that we're mastering. So because you even have Saturn in Libra, we know that you're mastering the art of relationship building in this lifetime and like forming allies and building communities. Saturn and Mercury and Libra are in your ninth house. The ninth house rules publishing and public speaking, foreign travel, higher education, astrology. The ninth house is all about learning and then sharing your wisdom back to the world. I mean, let's be real. You're a Virgo sun, you have Virgo Venus. Virgo's ruled by Mercury. So you're already you're very Mercury heavy. And then you have Mercury in your ninth house. So there was always a good chance that you were going to write a book and have your own story out into the public for the world to see. Can we keep going?
Okay.
How are you feeling? Is it aligning?
This is so
is it making sense?
right on. Like since I was a very young girl, I always wanted to write a book.
I love that.
And I knew I would. And I've tried multiple times in different iterations to write one. And it wasn't until like a couple years ago that I really landed on it and started working the process, which was wildly intense. But I've had this seed in me forever.
The moment you were born.
Yeah.
And Saturn, by the way, he's actually the planet of time. So wherever Saturn is in our birth chart, and you guys can look at your birth chart too and see wherever Saturn lives, which house it's in. We know that that's an area of our life that will experience a bit of delays or a bit of perfectionism, a little bit of like, oh, I'm not there yet. And that is because it's the planet of mastery. So good things take time. So let that validate your experience with the book. It's so going to be worth the wait, and everyone's going to love it because it's in Libra and everyone loves a Libra.
Amazing. Well, it's very balanced. I worked really hard on going through my own process of healing and reflection and, you know, looking at myself from different angles and my story from different angles so I could be holistic about how I told the story and kind and merciful. And that, you know, because it's not like a rec shop kind of book.
Right.
It's really a transmission of darkness to light from a difficult place to getting to the other side and really having a hopeful, open mind full of possibility.
Very Libra. It's like diplomatic and just with grace. That's their style. But then also just having a Virgo sun in the 8th house, like you're a healer. So trust that too. Like the book is going to heal so many people. That's just what you do, by the way, like wherever you are, whenever you show up, because having the sun in the 8th house, again, it's a little spooky and a little dark, but you shine there. So other people, when they experience haunted house things, they look to you.
This is really going well for my haunted house show. We worked it all out over spring break. We had our daughters on spring break this past week, and we're like, okay, here's the structure for the haunted house show.
Wow.
It's going to be so good.
Woo! I'm so excited. Okay, so Jupiter in the 10th house. Jupiter is the planet of success, opportunities, abundance, wealth. So the moon is spiritual, right? She's very intuitive. Jupiter, it is think a little bit higher than the moon. They're both so spiritual, but you have them conjunct, which means they're sitting right next to each other. You are very spiritual, meaning you're really connected. again, with the intuition, trusting your gut, even the way that you knew as a kid, like, oh, I'm going to write a book. You can also have whatever you want. Literally whatever you want. Having Jupiter conjunct the moon. Okay, it's in Scorpio. Scorpio is the sign of deep transformation, death and rebirth. We have to live a million lives with Scorpio. We're meant to experience a lot of ups and a lot of downs because basically you're evolving, you're changing and you're growing. That's what Scorpio does. But because you have Jupiter here, trust that any setback or any time you've experienced pain or death, whether it's literal death or it feels like a death, you're only going to get so much more powerful, so much bigger, brighter. Also, Jupiter's in your 10th house of career. Jupiter is literally the top of your chart. And the top of our chart is where we shine.
Great.
And Jupiter, the top of your chart is like you were always destined to be on TV.
So I tell this story in my book, and it was me in high school. I was on a swim team, and we had the swim banquet at the end where the seniors get up and they're like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And everyone goes down the line and they say what they want to do. And I'm like, I want to move to LA and be on TV.
Yes.
And everyone starts laughing. And I was like, wait, why are they laughing?
Why are they laughing?
Why are they laughing at me? This is my destiny. Ally's going to tell me this in a few years.
Exactly. Anytime I see someone's Jupiter in the 10th house, they usually have big dreams and aspirations. We live in LA, right? So a lot of people out here have that placement.
That's so funny.
Especially people that are like really high up within the industry or on TV. But Jupiter is quite literally the planet that expands us and brings us opportunities. So when it's in the 10th house, whether you like it or not, you were always getting a little push from the universe to be like, no, yeah, you're meant to be seen.
Great. That makes me feel a little less narcissistic.
And you have, by the way, it's Scorpio Moon. Scorpio moons are very hidden. They don't necessarily want to be figured out. And you're an Aquarius rising.
This is my favorite part, actually. I really like Aquarius.
I love Aquariuses too. In fact, I have to make a note to remind myself to stop dating them.
Oh, really? We're not the best.
No, they're the best. But I'm an Aquarius Venus, so I'm pretty
Aloof in
Aquarius
love.
coded. Aloof in love.
Yeah.
The thing with Aquarius, when we're younger, I find that the sign is really concerned with like friendships and social groups, sports, right? And like being just around a lot of different people. But then the older we get, that's when it becomes more of that like humanitarian, activist. They're literally the sign that's here to like change the world and make the world a better place. Like they're very innovative and smart.
And kind of weird when like little
So weird.
weirdos.
Otherworldly.
I like that. Like aliens a little bit.
Like aliens,
Okay,
exactly.
also because let's do a sidebar right now about the state of the world right now because we are in 2025. We're in the age of Aquarius.
Yes.
Do you think that we're going to have alien encounters this year?
I haven't thought about that, but like kind of.
Right?
Why wouldn't we?
Like, would you also want to be contacted or would you feel left out if you weren't? Because you're a star being. Like, if they don't come talk to you, wouldn't you be like, what's going on? Like,
I feel like I would have a little bit of FOMO, but then also I'd be a little scared.
I really want them to come hang. If an alien comes to Earth and doesn't come see me, I'm going to be upset.
What?
Yeah, like, why not me?
I would want them to visit a few other people because what if you're the only one and then no one believes you and now they're like, you're crazy?
Well, I feel like I'm called crazy a lot, so that would be fine with me. I would want other people to experience it too because I would want to compare notes and have a chat.
Exactly. Okay, big news, you guys. I'm doing my first ever live virtual show, StarStruck Live, and it's happening on June 11th. And you do not want to miss this. I'll be in the studio with a surprise celebrity guest for a full birth chart reading, live, which means anything can happen. I can't say who it is just yet, but trust me, it's a good one. And the best part? You get to be a part of it, no matter where you live. You'll be able to chat with me in real time, send in questions, react live, whatever your chart needs that day. And if you grab an after party ticket, you'll get to hang with us after the show. Ask us any questions you want and hear even more tea. So hit the link, grab your ticket now, and mark your calendars for June 11th, my favorite number. I'll see you there. Pluto just moved into Aquarius last year. This is a very big deal. Pluto is the planet that literally obliterates things so that it can restructure. It's the planet that rules Scorpio. It's the planet that is all about death and rebirth, deep transformation. But he has been in Capricorn since 2008. It's a generational planet, so it really defines like a zeitgeist or like a group, a generation.
That was when I won Survivor in 2008.
Wait, that's so cool.
And this is sort of feels like with this last season of Survivor that I did. it feels like the end of an era because I'm done playing Survivor.
That's really wild, actually. So it's been in your 12th house since 2008, which is literally the house of escapism. Escapism can be two things, right? It can be drugs, alcohol, and it can be the drowning side of escapism, or it can be the swimming side of escapism where we're meditating and we're in nature and we're having world experiences that are not normal necessarily. Pluto left your 12th house and went into Aquarius, your first house, last November. So it is really wild that whole
Oh my
season-
God. That was when I finished filming Survivor
That's weird.
last November.
You want to know another one that's weird?
Yes.
I think Vanderpump Rules started around that time. And then when we wrapped the reunion, I was saying, guys, Pluto's going into Aquarius today. Like, this is literally an end of an era. And then the whole cast got fired. Basically.
That's your fault. Not
Sorry,
my
guys.
fault.
Not to put it out into the universe.
I also knew, similar to how I knew I wanted to write a book, as soon as I turned 30, it was like a switch went off and I was like, I need to be a mom. Like, I have to have a baby.
Wow.
And I wrote about that in my book too, because I think some women have that and some don't.
Did you know before 30? I'm 29 and I don't know.
No.
Okay, cool.
I was like, oh yeah, maybe. But
Yeah.
as soon as I turned 30, it
Yeah.
was a deep ache. You'll know
Wow.
because it'll happen like if you see a baby and you're like, oh, I want that, or you get
Okay.
jealous,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
then that will be a good sign. But if
Yeah.
you don't care, then you're probably good to wait a few more years.
Okay, that's where I'm at. I see like poodles or dogs and I'm like, I want that.
Okay, get a dog. Start with
Gotta
a
get a
dog.
dog.
Babies are insane. Okay, so this book is for my girl, but it's
Yeah.
also for my babies. Like
Yeah.
my fans, people who've grown up watching Survivor, they
Yeah.
were like 12 years old when they found me, or
Yeah.
they said I was their queer awakening. I'm like, oh, I just want to like
Yes.
mama bird these
Yeah.
people and give them this book and offer them. It's really is full permission to be yourself and accept all parts of yourself, the
Yeah.
light and the dark, the good and the bad, and the ugly and the
Yeah.
pretty. And there's like, it just takes away judgment
Yeah.
so
Oh, I
that
love
there's more permission for people to just
Freedom.
be.
Yeah.
That's what I want to offer my daughter. So that's really what I've
That's
been
beautiful.
learning and working on in my
Jeez.
mothering phase.
You're so cool.
Thanks.
Well, Aquarius rising. So, like, the rising sign is how we move. Like, it's literally our energy, it's our autopilot. I think of the rising sign as like if we're alive and we're waking up every day, that's the energy that's guiding you through life. Aquarius doesn't have a judgy bone in its body. So, you being an Aquarius rising, like, you've always been bringing people together for a bigger purpose of like deeper love and understanding. So, I feel like your book, like this phase that you're in now, and because Pluto just entered Aquarius, this is the part of you now that the world gets to experience because Pluto shines a light on things. So this is now this next chapter. It's like Survivors come to an end, but like now we get to give back.
I'm right aligned with this.
That's how it should feel. It should feel like looking in a mirror. It should feel validating. Do you have any questions? I do have some dates too.
Let's do the dates and then let's see what's happening these
Current-
days.
Yep. So I'll say the date and then I'll tell you about the astrology that was like going on at the time. And then you tell me what was happening.
Okay.
First, we have September 21st, 2024. The two things that stick out the most to me, one, Venus is at the top of your chart, meaning there was about to be another kind of resurrection of yourself. Venus is the planet of beauty and love and art and travel and history. And then also Jupiter in your fifth house, which is just like fun. Jupiter in the fifth house brings us like fun opportunities, which is where we do see competition as well, the fifth house. And then Mars is literally right on top of your north node, which is your purpose point. So some big things happened. What? Tell me, I can't wait.
That was like day 2 of Australian Survivor versus the world. So we just kicked off the game and there were some big things happening within my tribe dynamics. And it was my birthday.
So you were there competing during this time.
Yes, competing
Okay.
on Survivor, this is my final chapter of Survivor. And reconnected with a lifelong friend,
Oh,
Serene,
I love.
who
Oh,
I'd
wow,
played
yes.
season 16, Micronesia,
Okay.
Survivor Fans versus Favorites with. And that was the season I won. And she and I were super tight in that game. So coming back and playing Australian Survivor, I was like, oh, I don't know if we're going to be
Yeah.
aligned and sync in that same way or
Mhm.
not. And
Yeah.
it was just so cool. What happened?
I like the Mars on the North Node for that because the North Node is our, again, that's purpose, destiny. That is like not in our control at all. And Mars being on top of your North Node during that time, things were just aligning and happening in a probably pretty quick and even maybe unexpected way. Like Mars is fast and action. Like we're doing things, like we're running, we're tired.
Yes.
But then the North Node is there like, okay, but like it's our destiny. Keep going. I got to keep up. I'm so
like,
tired.
Sri and I are like, why are we doing this again?
Yeah. And you might even miss your daughter too. Cause like, again, now that we know like that's where your daughter lives, but there was just a lot of emotions perhaps, like you were busy. Okay, next. So March 2023.
That's a big one.
North Node was in your 4th house. So that tells me during this time period, you were moving towards maybe like you were moving or buying a home or your daughter, something with her. But the focus at that time was family and home life and more about like the family foundation and what that means to you and how we like raise a family and like day-to-day life things. Another thing is Mars being in the 5th house with the moon. That's really flirty and really fun.
Oh my God. Does it sound good?
Yay, I love it. Venus and Jupiter were in your 3rd house of storytelling and communication. Maybe you started your podcast around this, or maybe you were just getting the ball rolling. The 3rd house is where podcasts live. So Jupiter. Or maybe you were starting to write your book because it's opposite that 9th house of publishing too. So family was a focus and then also like your creative world.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was when my divorce finalized that month. So that was like a huge completion and then a restructuring of family and thinking about it in a whole new way. I was like, I have been dating guys and it's not working. And I opened up my app to date women that month. So it was like a big kind of opening expansion in like how I do intimate relationships and partnerships.
Totally.
Super flirty, playful, fun. I went to Vegas with my best friend and we had a big divorce party.
Wait, I love,
sponsored by this guy who sponsored my bachelorette party. And it was like the same. We went to the Chainsmokers. We were balling. It was so fun.
Iconic.
I know. And then I was also writing my book because I think my book deal went through in January of 2023. And then I started working with a writing coach and like really establishing a weekly meeting with her to sit down and just start pouring it out.
The North Node being in the 4th house really does signal a new beginning, almost like you're given a new life too. We're giving birth to something, whether it's like the book or your new identity, no longer in this relationship and trying new things, family. So that's so cool.
That's right on.
That's crazy. And just Venus being in the 3rd house, by the way, which, this is about to happen again. Venus was in Aries around this time, which Aries is the zodiac sign of new beginnings, but also passion, energy, action, fiery, like we don't care what people think. We're doing what we want. Venus was there at that time. So like having this new idea of love that you were experiencing, but also it was kind of exposed and out in the world because your moon is in the 10th house, but also the 3rd house is where we share a message. Okay. November 2020.
Yes.
During this time, you were really maybe in a little bit more of an introverted moment. 2020, like we all were, but Jupiter was in your 12th house, which the 12th house is our spiritual house. This is actually where we see tarot and psychics and therapists, and also it's a healing house, but it's a really like quiet, think like Buddhist monk, think like eat, pray, love. That's kind of the vibe of Jupiter in the 12th house. But around November, Saturn was also here, which was kind of being like, we need to retreat for a minute. Then you have a bunch of other planets that are pulling you out into the world. Like the sun at this time was in Scorpio and in your 10th house. So it almost feels like there was pressure to go out into the world, but what you really wanted to do was stay home.
Oh my God.
There is Venus and Mercury in your 9th house, which is also literally pulling you like overseas. But then these planets were like, we need a break. Okay, tell me.
Wow. Well, 2020 was really intense for so many people. Mm-hmm. But that month was when my brother died, my younger brother. And it was devastating to me. It was shocking. And I was like fully grief-stricken. Mm-hmm. but I couldn't stop working
Mhm.
because of my situation at home.
Yeah.
So I had to continue coaching my clients and
Mhm.
showing up in the world and teaching meditations. And I was also like grieving the death of my younger brother at the
Mhm.
same time. So it was this sort of push pull, and it was that like deep, very spiritual, intense experience of the world dropping out from under me,
Mhm.
like the physical world that I
Yeah.
relied on and could trust was like wobbly and
Mhm.
like felt like permeable.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I wrote about this
Wow.
in my book as well because it was like such a impactful time. I would go on hikes in the
Mhm.
Santa Monica Mountains
Mhm.
and I would have these spiritual experiences
Mhm.
and I would connect with my brother out there. It was like this separation between life and death didn't exist.
What you just explained is the 12th house. It's the last house. So it is the house where we leave the physical world and we go to whatever we want to call it, the other side. It's where we do experience synchronicities, hidden messages from the universe, spirit guides, messages from past loved ones, all of the above. And again, Jupiter was there. And remember, Jupiter's very spiritual and brings us opportunities and gifts. So Jupiter being in the 12th house at that time was quite literally like bringing your brother to you in a different way. So even though you were still busy and working, like I love that you still found moments because like he was trying to reach you. Because like the 12th house is the house of death, but it's more enlightenment and it's more like peaceful. But you do have two planets in the 8th house. The 8th house is experiencing grief and pain. If you have planets in the 8th house, I don't want to ignite fear in any
Like,
way.
sorry, you're going into the
Yeah,
haunted
no, I
house.
know. And like, I never want to do that. But the 8th house, I have my moon there and I lost my dad at a young age. And usually people, when they have big planets in the 8th house, experience some form of pain or trauma at an earlier age or where it feels unfair or it's just like heavy. But like you're meant to experience that because you're meant to help other people. So even your book, that time Jupiter was really connecting you to a more spiritual side.
Yeah, I really felt that. It was a complete moment of realization where it was like, this old life that I've been living is done. Like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to make a complete shift, like a radical shift where I was like, I don't want to be in this marriage anymore. I want to completely change everything. It was from that month.
From that month. Okay. Because, yeah, the 12th house, it is the ending. So, because you know it's all a circle, it goes counterclockwise. So this 12th house, it's ending because we're about to start over, because then we go back to the first house. We got to show up, we're still alive, we're still breathing, we got to do it all again. So you were experiencing, you know, a deeper kind of transition yourself.
So wild.
I know. I was gonna ask if you have any gifts, because the 8th house, you have your sun and Venus there. So like, do you have any spiritual gifts or psychic abilities?
I will read people's palms, but I tend to make it up. But they're always like, yeah, that's
No,
right.
you're probably right.
I'm like, this line means that. And I'm like, truly, I'm
Me too, mine.
like, okay. All right, these lines are sort of the influences of your past lives. So it looks like you have maybe 3 or 4 past lives that are impacting this lifetime heavily. So you may want to do some kind of hypnotherapy, past life regression thing to kind of explore that.
I've always wanted to do that.
Do you feel like you're connected to a certain time in history? Like what? Like Egypt?
I was gonna say a little bit of Egypt sometimes, but more like London. But maybe I'm just obsessed with Anne Boleyn and like all that history. But I feel a
like
little
Pride and Prejudice,
like
kind
Pride
of a
and
thing.
Prejudice.
I also see Egypt because you're like a cat person.
Thank you. Wait, I love that. Wait, I love that.
So maybe consider that
Egypt.
like a golden goddess in Egyptian times,
And that's where astrology started. In Egypt,
right?
Alexandria,
the pyramids.
Right? Yes.
Okay, you were there.
I was there.
Yeah, you were there. Okay, well, this is really interesting. Usually, when I look at people's palms, this line, which is your fate line, will kind of connect in with your lifeline, but yours does not.
Oh no!
So you have a nice, long, really super healthy lifeline.
Yay! I love to hear that.
Yeah, you're like
put that energy out there.
Good health, active, energetic.
Yay.
well hydrated.
I will take that.
Shiny skin.
Yes. Good skin.
Glowy and dewy.
Yay.
And your fate line is sort of like, it's a side of you. It's not necessarily woven, like your career isn't necessarily woven into your life. But I don't know, like you're passionate about astrology.
Yeah.
But it does seem like you can step into your career and you can step away from it. You can detach. You don't have to take your work home with you. It doesn't have to be on your mind all the time. You can have a healthy boundary around
That's
that.
literally what I'm trying to do right now.
Oh, great. Yeah, you're off the show.
So like that's, And I feel like now I can balance like, no, this is my fun. And then this is my, like, I have to turn this side of my brain off or I go crazy.
And you don't have to share all of your personal, deepest, darkest, or emotional world to succeed in your career.
Thank you.
And this is your heart. So your heart and your brain line connect. So that to me seems that you tend to analyze your love relationships.
Yeah.
A lot. Okay.
Yeah. And I like attract partners where I feel like I want to heal them or I take on like the caretaker role. But then I'm also very Aquarius and I'm very detached.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, we can dive super deep into your world anytime.
I think just having awareness of astrology always helps because it reminds us like, okay, surrender. Like we're really not in control here.
I think it's just good okay it's just like a little dose of your medicine where you're like, this has been going on since the dawn of time.
So my favorite movie is Mary Poppins. So I'm going to steal that.
So
and I'm going to be like, astrology.
You are Mary Poppins.
My cat's name is Mr. Banks. It's his birthday today because you told me that it's birthday.
Yes.
But I'm going to call astrology my little spoonful of sugar.
I love that.
Helps the medicine go down.
It does.
Being human is freaking hard.
It's crazy.
Aliens, save us.
Come hang out with us.
Just take us. Aliens. It's their time.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. This was truly so much fun. And thank you for letting me read your chart. And thank you for hanging out with me.
Oh my God, what a treat. You're so good at this. Everything you said, I relate to.
Thank you.
Like deeply and specifically.
Love that.
Thank you.
Love that.
It was so fun.
You're welcome. Thank you.